Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Today I will be sharing how to make a FNaF suit. This will not be for any particular character because there are so many different designs and so many different ways that you can build someone. Like Freddy, he has his top hat, maybe that doesn't apply for Toy Freddy. There's so many different designs and stuff, so I'm going to just be making a general tutorial for how to make a FNaF suit because a lot of people have been requesting this. So without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so first of all, the first thing that I do when I make a FNaF suit is I think of, well, what character am I making? And that kind of determines. So the next step would be to make a Google document or a list, or if you have paper, just make a list. It really helps so you can see what you're getting. And once you have listed all your materials, which I will be going over in a little bit, because there will be some helpful hints that I will be giving after experience of making several of these types of suits, so that way you know what to and what not to buy. Okay? So first, think of what you want to be, write a list of what materials, and then I'll explain. Here I will be listing for a couple minutes these materials which will help you all around in this suit making process. Okay, so starting with the moving jaw, if you want to make a moving jaw, that will be the first thing, but if you don't, you may skip this part and just go straight to the head base process. So, first of all, the moving jaw involves lots of physics. So, at first I didn't really know how to make this, but over time I learned some effective ways to make a base, to make a moving base, mind you. First of all, you will need to take canvas mesh and cut it into these strips. So usually I make one that goes from my forehead to the back of my head, one that goes from the side of my head to the other side of my head, one that goes around my head, and then two pieces that go down from the sides. And then for the jaw piece, which will be separate, I make one piece that will be for the jaw, and then one that will go kind of around the jaw, so it's not just like one flat little piece. So once you've made all those shapes, then you not glue them together, but you have to kind of fit it to your head shape. Obviously this varies, we don't all have the same head, but generally once you have the right size and you feel satisfied with how it looks and how it feels, then you take these tacks and you tack the pieces together. Don't worry, these will not go to waste. There are so many and they are so effective. It's better than gluing it. So for now, just be sure to tack these together, and then once that's done, simply just take your craft foam, the thin foam project foam, like that you use for school projects or stuff, It's very thin. It has one adhesive side, so be sure to just adhere the sticky side to the exposed tacks so they don't kind of get stuck in your hair. And then finally, once that's done, you should be left with just the base and the head. Or sorry, the base and the unattached jaw. So you take the jaw and you first of all take wire ties and kind of string together the two pieces. So that way it sort of forms like a little wall on top of the jaw piece. Then once that's done, take two tacks, and this will take some time to kind of adjust and see how or if it will or won't work, but just simply take your tacks and attach only one hinge to each side that is dangling off of the head base. Once that is done, then simply take this base and kind of put it off to the side because you'll need some room for this next part. So you should have your wire hanger with you. If you have pliers, great. If not, well, I mean, you can try to find shorter wires, but if you don't have pliers, then I recommend getting some because you'll need to break off the wire to make this stable and make this work. So first of all, bend them into the shape of the two pieces that are hanging off your sides on the base. So it should kind of form like a frame piece, like a rectangle. Once you have these two pieces, simply wire tie them to each piece. They don't have to be exactly on top, they can be off to the side a bit. And then once that's done, simply attach them. Now you should have every piece for the base done, except for the elastic. So simply take your elastic pieces that you'd like and cut them. Then take the elastic and cut into two strips, so you should have it like this. And once that's done, simply either glue or tack the elastic into each hole, so that way it kind of runs down from one side and like down from the very front and then down to the other front. Or you can do it from the front piece of the jaw to the back side of the head. Either way works, whatever you like. Okay, that's the base. Test it. If it doesn't work, try to reinforce the elastic or adjust it. Okay, next up I will be explaining how to make the head base. So obviously I'm not going to be explaining how to make snouts or stuff. That is completely subjective. Obviously all the sizes and shapes vary. So what you do is you take your head base and you just wrap 1 inch thick foam around it. If you need, take smaller pieces of foam and kind of like glue them on the inside so that way they kind of push out the head so it's more structured. Then you just kind of take the head base and you wrap it around. It's okay if it's a little bit longer, this will be fine. Then you etch a few triangles into it and you kind of fold them up and together, cut them out, and then glue them all together so they form a dome. It's okay if this is not perfect, you can always shape it later. And there you go. You can add details, cut out eyes, do whatever you like. Okay, so the next part will be the bodysuit. So obviously there are many different types of bodysuits, but I mean you can generally shape it or skim it down if you'd like later, but always use 1/2 inch thick foam. I promise you. You can always add to it, add fat shape or whatever, but you cannot change the original shape. So with 1/2 inch thick foam, create a shape that looks like this, because that is generally the shape. if you have different body size, obviously adjust it. If not, then you can just assemble it as is. So first, if you want to make this process easier, I'd recommend attaching the fabric first, because then you don't have to worry about any creases or anything. But if not, or once you're done, then you simply attach the shoulders, and that's it. You can always glue in the zipper, and then you should be good. So, moving on to the pelvis, simply cut out this piece, and then you can assemble it either from the sides, or you can just assemble it as one giant piece. Again, be sure to do the fabric first. It just makes it a lot easier. Next, for the arm pieces, be sure to cut some extra room off. So basically cut out 2 of these for the forearms, and then 2 of these for the upper arms. If you kind of want it to be like a cone-ish shape, like a more smaller and then it gets larger kind of shape to mimic the forearms, you can, but I don't recommend. I don't know, it just kind of ruins the idea of it being like an animatronic. So we'll assemble those. And then just do something similar, like cut out these pieces for the pelvis, the calves and the thighs. And then you should be good. If you want to make feet, then what I would do is make whatever feet shape you want. I won't be explaining in depth how to do this because they vary. But generally you should make it into several pieces. And then once you're done with that, just on the bottoms, be sure to glue in 3 or 2 pieces of elastic so you can slip in a shoe but also have it stay. Just walk around, test it, and then you should be good. And simply put, that is how to make a FNaF suit. I know this is not too in-depth of a tutorial, but at the same time, I didn't want to go too in-depth because there's so many different ways that you could do one of these. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will be answering questions in the comments. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.